White wedding dress? Allowed. Traditional Polish bread and salt greeting? Forbidden. Champagne at the reception? Allowed. Toasts? Strictly forbidden. Ever wondered what strange paradoxes exist in a Jehovah's Witnesses wedding? What's surprisingly allowed and what's mysteriously forbidden? Today we're diving deep into these fascinating contradictions. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Worldlies. I'm Sara, a former Jehovah's Witnesses from Poland. Everything I'll share today comes straight from my personal experience and Polish perspective. Let's start with engagement. Before the big day arrives, what happens during the engagement phase? Let's uncover whether witnesses have premarital counseling, if outsiders can attend the wedding, and what happens if someone gets disfellowshipped right before the big day. In Watchtower publications, engagement advice centers on one main thing: no sex before wedding. Personally, I believe Jehovah Witnesses are obsessed on sex theme, but that's material for another episode. Here's something surprising. Witnesses don't have premarital counseling. If a couple wants a religious talk at the Kingdom Hall, they'll briefly meet with the speaker who'll simply ask if there's anything that might threaten their chastity. But seriously, when you've already paid deposits and bought outfits, who would admit to anything? But what if someone gets disfellowshipped right before the wedding? Unfortunately, witnesses couldn't attend such a ceremony, and the Kingdom Hall service would be cancelled. Though unofficially, when others' wives have already booked her appointments and bought new dresses, Jehovah's Spirit is supposed to be intolerant of sinners. But sometimes it's surprisingly flexible. At least that's what I've witnessed in Poland. Our viewers also wanted to know, can you invite unbelieving guests to your wedding? That term always amazed me. Witnesses call non-members unbelieving even when these people are often deeply religious themselves. There's no official ban, but the Watchtower says you can invite them if there's room left after all the witnesses. Did you know inviting outsiders to the ceremony has a hidden agenda? They hope your, for example, Catholic family will be impressed by the Kingdom Hall atmosphere. But I can tell you, this only exists in witnesses' minds. Our Catholic family and maids, they were not impressed at all. Notice how the Watchtower assumes non-witness guests create problematic situations, labeling them as potential drunks who don't know how to behave. And what about single guests with a +1? And this is tricky, because I couldn't find official guidance in publication, but 15 years ago, when I was planning my own wedding, an elder claimed such pairings were essentially dates. So we should only invite married couples or engaged ones. Yet, years later, I saw the witnesses allowing +1s. Let me know in the comments how it was for you in your country. What about hen and stag parties? Not forbidden, surprisingly. And this should it is really hard word, isn't it? This should theoretically be dignified with limited alcohol and no sex jokes. But in practice, let's just say that after one party, the guys were so hungover they could barely breathe at the next day's meeting. Now that we've invited our guests, it's time for the wedding itself. Witnesses have one cardinal rule for weddings. It must be legal. So in some countries, an elder can officiate anywhere, but in Poland and many other countries, we follow local law. Witnesses have civil weddings at registry offices. It's 15 minutes and it's done. Taking your husband's name? Personal, I've rarely seen witness women keep their maiden names, but I don't know every couple in Poland. Please share your experiences in the comments. Is a reception mandatory? No. Is a Kingdom Hall talk required? Technically, no, but I've never seen couples skip it. Witness guests might even bypass the civil ceremony, but will always show up at the hall because it's more important. The talk itself, 30 minutes focusing on traditional gender roles and keeping Jehovah central in marriage. Since vows are already made at the registry office in Poland, Additional vows at the hall are optional. Can someone from another religion officiate? At the civil ceremony, no one checks the official's faith, come on. But at the Kingdom Hall, must be a congregation elder. After the talk, the couple either heads to the reception or spends time receiving well wishes and gifts. And yes, wedding gifts are absolutely allowed. Unlike holidays, where gift giving is forbidden, wedding presents don't fall under religious prohibitions. One notable absence: Catholic couples, at least in Poland, often receive parental blessings before leaving home. Witnesses have no such custom or symbolic farewell to parents. And now for what tigers like best, the outfits. 15 years ago, I heard phrases like, "A long wedding dress is only for church." This stems from Polish tradition, where brides wore suits to register offices and saved, lace and veils for church ceremonies. But I was only having one wedding, the civil one, so I wasn't limiting myself. I had a typical wedding dress with lace, train and veil. Do witnesses see veils or wreaths as symbolic? No. Some choose veils, others don't. Some even choose red dresses instead of white. This isn't judged, though I've heard snide comments that our witnesses' brides are virgins, so, veils look less jarring on them. Okay? The dress color isn't judged, but modesty is emphasized. Deep necklines, see-through fabrics, or high slits will be rare. You can check Instagram for hashtag JWWedding, for example, of bride styles. Grooms follow similar rules, standard men's outfit, no tight pant. And wedding rings, complete freedom. Gold, silver, titanium, with or without decorations. It's entirely personal choice. Ready for surprise? Jehovah's Witness wedding receptions aren't that different from other celebrations. Some couples have small family dinners, other throw parties like for 200 guests. Preferences and budgets dictate choices. Photographers, DJs, chocolate fountains, thank you gifts for parents, it's all allowed. You can insert any wedding trend. Does this mean everything is permitted? Well, not quite. Let's start with those gray areas. A common myth: Jehovah's Witnesses don't drink alcohol, but they do. The couple might choose an alcohol-free wedding, but that's their decision, not Watchtower policy. Give a thumbs up and a comment if you want an episode about witnesses' complicated relationship with alcohol, because I strongly believe it is a very important topic. Blood sausage is Polish, typical Polish treat. Polish folks are huge fan of that. It's obviously forbidden because of blood. But witnesses who enjoy such foods simply order white sausage without blood. Games and activities. Witnesses skip oczepiny. It's the Polish custom where the bride transitions to married life. You can try to say oczepiny again, because it's considered pagan. But they still want fun. Of course, the DJ is already paid. Wedding games are allowed with one condition: nothing overtly sexual. Do you have sexual games during reception parties in other countries? I wonder, because in Poland, they can be really embarrassing. So, during Jehovah's Witness wedding, there will be no rolling eggs through trousers legs or blowing balloons with buttocks. Just try to imagine that, please. Okay, but races, dancing contests, and other games are fine. The couple will likely provide the DJ with a list of forbidden songs. What songs were banned at your weddings? If you weren't a witness, what songs do you think wouldn't make the cut? Dancing is allowed, but not dirty dancing style. Just, nice, proper, traditional wedding dancing. And I just thought, what is a traditional wedding dance for you, for people not from Poland, because, we just have like dancing, couple dancing. Okay, no, jeszcze raz. One viewer messaged me that they attended a witness wedding as an unbeliever, and were surprised when Watchtower members avoided dancing with them and kept their distance. And this didn't surprise me. Witnesses stick together and choose their own company, perfectly reflecting how close yet functional this group is. Now for the absolute no-nos in Polish wedding climate. After the ceremony, nothing is thrown at the couple. No rice, rose petals, or confetti. Welcome with bread and salt, traditional Polish custom, forbidden. Throwing glasses? Nope. Toasts? Out of the question. Better not stand up during soup announcing, let's drink to the young couple, unless you're at your own worldly table, and do it quietly. No singing stolat. Stolat translates to 100 years, and by singing stolat, guests are wishing the couple 100 years of health and happiness. Bitter, bitter. It's calling for newlyweds to kiss, and this is typical wedding chant. Guests complain that the vodka is too bitter to drink, so the young couple should kiss on the lips to make it sweeter. Although with the latter, I'm not entirely sure. Most customs are forbidden due to pagan origins, but bitter bitter refers to vodka's taste. The kiss supposedly sweetens it, but I've never seen witnesses do this. Maybe it's something about luck? I don't know. You know that toasts are forbidden, but every witness wedding I attended started with champagne while waiting for the newlyweds. We are just standing with glasses full of champagne and wait until, I don't know. Now I think toasts make more sense. Oh, and someone will likely say a prayer at the beginning, asking that the celebration pleases Jehovah, which makes completely devastated by alcohol guests staggering around in early morning hours quite an interesting sight. Jehovah must be pleased. After wedding parties, well, in Poland, we call this poprawiny. It's another Polish tradition, these days really done because of money. This follow-up reception typically consists of more eating, drinking, and good cheer. Again, it's couple choice and their budget. Me and my husband had an after party that doubled as a casual gathering for friends who we couldn't invite to the wedding itself. What about wedding anniversaries? Birthdays are forbidden, but wedding anniversaries are celebrated, sometimes with big parties. The Watchtower explains this by saying, no one has to celebrate anything, but somehow anniversary celebrations are acceptable, while birthdays aren't. You know, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th and doesn't command birthday celebration. That's their argument. But wait, he also doesn't forbid them. And I don't recall Bible passages about Abraham and Sara celebrating their wedding anniversary. Their final argument? Mature Christians have important arguments against birthdays. You know, perhaps they just didn't want to take away the one celebration exclusive to marriages. We've reached the end of our Jehovah's Witnesses wedding review. Reality is full of paradoxes. Some customs strictly forbidden for pagan origins, while others, equally pagan, are completely accepted. This shows how the Watchtower itself decides what's bad and what's good, often without consistent logic. If you have witnesses in your family or are considering attending their wedding, we hope this episode helps you understand what to expect. Enjoy this episode? Leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss more content exposing the manipulation of Jehovah's Witnesses and other religious groups. Please write, should we talk about witnesses' complicated relationship with alcohol next? Let us know in the comments.